Hey, welcome back, everybody, to Kent at Your Own Risk, episode 40. We'll be getting into part 5 now, discussing A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child, and unfortunately, I don't think there's a lot to say about this one. One thing, I guess, you know what? There is. Kevin brought up that part 4 was the first direct sequel to the previous movie. And part 5 continues that tradition, being a direct sequel to part 4. Literally, months later, rather than any of the span of years that we've been looking at with the other movies. So it makes it fucking remarkable that when kids start dying again, people don't fucking automatically remember that this shit just happened literally the previous fucking school year. And everybody's like, oh, I don't know what it could be. You're fucking mental. If there, at this point, there's been at least 5 cycles of child murders happening in this fucking city. And people are still not realizing what the fuck is going on. Or at least that anything is going on. What I will give this one, that is something that got ignored in a lot of the previous ones, is that, like, Nancy in part 1, for example, is down at the fucking police station talking about how this guy in her dreams is fucking attacking and killing her friends, and like, people are just, yeah, okay, whatever, Nancy, or her dad's like, yeah, you don't know what you're talking about, but like, nobody's like, this girl's fucking crazy. So this is the first one, I believe, where we really start getting to see, examples of people on the outside, I don't know, maybe Alice just decides to have, whatever conversation she wants to have with her friends anywhere in front of anybody, and she's that one person who will have, like, the I got my period in second, I got my period in, gym class today, and the fucking old lady standing next to her in the line at the fucking supermarket, it's like, what the fuck is this bitch talking about? But, they're talking about, like, people getting murdered in her dreams, and, he's attacking her baby and shit, in front of doctors, in front of family members, in front of teachers. I don't know. This is the one where it started stretching my credulity, but I liked Alice in this better than I liked her in 4. The friends in this one, like, what was his name? Mark? He was cool. Yvonne and Greta, I'm like, why were they in this fucking movie? Especially Yvonne. Yvonne is, to me, the most annoying person in this entire series. She fucking takes the cake from the mom in part 1 for me. I don't, or Rick in part 4. She's worse than Rick. Let's put it like that.
I have one quick question. Like, they kind of built this up like Mark, Yvonne, and Greta were like these great friends of Alice and Dan. But yeah, like, I don't know, it would have been kind of nice to have at least seen them in the background of part 4, for example.
Yeah, I mean, well, it would have taken them thinking ahead to what they were going to do. And I'm sorry if Dan is like, he's a nice guy, but he's not even a character. He's like a fucking, you could have just put like a cardboard David Hasselhoff there and it would have fucking worked just as well.
Can we get that version of Nightmare on Elm Street 5? I'll give you $20 right now.
If I had one, I'd put it up for you, but I just... So, I mean, we get some cool ideas, Alice getting sucked into, like, Amanda's memories. I mean, that's got to be fucking horrific. I can't imagine. When was that supposed to take place? 1968?
68 was something.
No, wait. That was earlier, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
68 was when the murders happened. This would have been in the 40s, right?
Yeah, that would make sense. I mean, how they filmed it was very, I don't want to say real, but it was like about as real as that franchise got.
Yeah. Yeah, the production values are pretty good on this one. But the, even in the 40s, I can't imagine they would just let 100 violent psychopaths wander around a ward with no bedrooms, no orderlies down there, and let like a woman, a nurse, or a nun just walk in through that area without any kind of fucking supervision. You know,
Yeah, a defenseless lady just walking around 100 fucking crazy maniacs. Yeah, sure, why not?
I mean, aside of these kind of stretches that we're getting to, I mean, if these are the nitpicks we have when we get to a part 5 of a series.
True.
Of this series.
I will say that, like, Greta's death is one of the worst done in the fucking series.
They had to cut that a lot from what I've read. They actually had to cut all, like, Dan's death, Greta's death, and Mark's death. Mark's death wasn't cut as much, but Greta's, I think, got cut down a lot to avoid the dreaded X rating. But I still can't imagine, like, how much worse could it have been?
What would they have done to get cut her out of her clothes?
I don't know. I mean, it was bad enough that you have this one guy's like, well, this gentleman has been checking out your body, daughter, and he thinks you're perfect for modeling. There's nothing creepy about this dinner conversation, right?
Yeah, no, yeah. That's uncomfortable as fuck right there. I mean,
let me ask something else. So they're graduating. Why is there still swim practice going on for a senior who just graduated?
Maybe in Ohio they have a different, like, sports cycle than they did in New York, where swimming was the winter season.
Yeah, but even if it's a summer season, as a senior, you can't participate in school sports anymore.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, they do let them drink at the pool.
I have so many questions.
I mean,
yes.
I mean, let me ask you this: how many times did one of your teachers in your school give you the keys to access any of the areas of the school by yourself after the school was closed?
Well, I mean, I feel comfortable speaking for Kevin since we both went to Mayfield. Even if we had a key, there is not a whole hell of a lot of anything to get into at Mayfield.
I'm not even saying get into, but I mean, think about, like...
Just nobody's going to give a kid keys to anything.
Here's the key to the pool. Just make sure you lock up after, don't drown yourself,
Don't
with the key.
Have a lifeguard there?
With the key that I fucking gave you,
Like... That's an insurance. Like, there's so many things wrong with the practicality. It's like, all right, it's June, you graduated. Yeah, keep using school property. You're not a student anymore. You could drown. But, have beers. That's cool.
Hey, I mean, and don't worry about all these teenage murders that happen here every fucking year. We're good. Don't worry about it.
As long as you guys are in numbers, you'll be fine.
Yeah. Just make sure you hang out at parties, except when you go to Lisa's house. That's a bad party to go to.
All right. Here's a question. Alice's hair. Better as ginger or, I don't know, what would you say, strawberry blonde or whatever the hell she was in part 5?
I mean, I've got to go with part 5. Like, everything about Alice was improved in this one. She wasn't trying to fucking suit up like RoboCop or whatever in her dream sequence.
You didn't like the spiked wristband that would totally be useless unless you did like a spinning back forearm MMA move?
You mean like something from like Kickboxer with Jean-Claude? No.
The lucky studded bracelet from 4 are we talking about? Yeah.
Yes, the lucky. Don't forget, you're a good lucky, except for the guy who tries to fuck with you.
Yeah, so no, I give her the part 5.
Definitely part 5.
I kind of liked I liked the ginger hair better, but she was a much better character in 5. I think.
Yes, I would agree with you 100%.
You know what? No, I take that back. I like batshit crazy Alice.
All right, what did you guys think about the kid?
He was in Full House for a couple.
No, this is the kid Jacob. He was in Jurassic Park. What else was she in? No, the kid from what was he in 6? No, the kid from 7. Yeah, New Nightmare. He was in Full House.
Oh shit! So what the hell?
He was the kid in Jurassic Park that Sam Neill threatens to cut open with the raptor claw or whatever in the very beginning, in the excavation scene, and that's basically off the top of my head.
I'm just scrolling down to like early '90s. He was in 3 episodes of Full House. Suck it, Kevin. I don't remember him at all.
All right, we've been reduced to that.
The kid was okay, but you know how sometimes movies make kids like way too fucking articulate?
Smart beyond their years.
Like, kids are never... Yeah, it's like an adult wrote this, but they didn't write it in thinking that as a kid. You know what I mean?
I will give him this. I'll take this kid in this one, Jacob, over fucking Dylan and New Nightmare any day.
Would you take him over the kid in Babadook?
No.
Okay.
Well,
fair.
As an actor, no.
No.
As an annoying kid, yes. I would take him over the kid. I would murder that kid in fucking I understand completely where the mother was coming from in that movie.
Like, the shower scene, the opening shower scene, like, it's like, alright, so obviously when I watched this, and perhaps when you guys first watched this, like, you know, I was a teenager, I'm just, like, begging for some nudity, and, like, that was, like, a 10-minute dick tease, I swear. They didn't want to give us anything.
No, if they gave us anything from this, they would have given us Yvonne.
Oh, so Yvonne, she was she was in People Under the Stairs. She was...
Yeah, she's the one that gives Fool his nickname or whatever, or does the tarot reading. Yeah.
Yeah, that's his sister. I think that's Fool's sister, if I'm not mistaken. She was also in Lost Boys with a small role.
She was in some... I know I've seen her in something else besides those. I don't know.
Wow. I'm just realizing something. I'm already out of my notes. That's how little I thought of this movie. We've already discussed all... The only other note I have is that the coach that was trying to recruit Dan was also involved in the making of The Prince of Egypt, a callback to our December podcast. That's how bad my notes are right now, because I was like, I have nothing of... Like, Yvonne, go find Amanda. She's buried somewhere, or her remains are somewhere. Oh, there's the skeleton. Oh, she's a real person. Now she's a spirit. Okay.
Yeah.
What a transition.
I mean, I don't really have too much to say about this one either. I want to say like half of the dream sequences were good, and then the other half were like bad.
All right. Since I didn't rewatch New Nightmare this time around, I'm still fairly remembering this. Didn't they basically reuse Dan's death, like dream sequence for Heather's husband?
Yeah,
like he falls asleep driving.
Yeah,
I mean, not even as cool as it is in Dan's death scene in 5. Like that one's pretty awesome.
The only thing I remember in New Nightmare was like the blades coming up near his balls in part. And
yeah. He's yawning and then he just falls asleep and drives off the road into the fucking.
Singing REM.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but then it cuts out. It's like it shows the hand come up. Yeah. I mean, well, I guess we'll get to that one, but yeah, it's not as cool. Like Dan's motorcycle death scene might be my favorite out of all of them, and they cite H.R. Geiger as kind of an influence, but it's very like cyberpunk. It doesn't fit in with any of the other ones or like the series really, but it was pretty cool that like it pops up and like all of the wires and tubes of the motorcycle, and then he like becomes it. Like it was pretty awesome.
Also like the MC Escher, shit at the end. Like they did a lot of artistic stuff in this. I don't want to give this movie too much credit, but they did take some artistic chances. It feels.
No, I would agree with that completely.
Like Mark's dream sequence was.
Yeah, Mark's dream sequence, Dan's death, like you said, the dream stuff, and then I don't know, and then
Alice as Amanda Kruger, I thought that was like really cool too, and like freaky.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I feel bad for Yvonne because she had to keep doing the pool diving scene while having food poisoning. I would just be like, no, I'm.
But it was like,
all right, give me 15 minutes to shit myself, and I'll be right back to do.
But it was like in a studio. Yeah. It wasn't like actually on the diving board. I mean, I don't know if that makes it better or worse, but I think it makes it better.
I just wouldn't want to have to film. It does make it better, but I guess I would be like, guys, I'm either going to shit myself, puke in the water. Like, either way, this water's going to be bad very soon. So, I don't know. All right, was Greta all that attractive enough to be a model compared to, I don't know, just, she didn't strike me as model quality, I guess.
I thought so.
She kind of reminded me of like a Brooke Shields from that time period. So I guess so. You know, she wouldn't have been the most attractive person in my opinion, but yeah.
She could have made the cover of 17.
I feel like, what about a cover of 11?
I don't know. Is that what?
All right, I don't know. What are you, fucking brawny now, Kent?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I liked Greta's death scene. It was like totally weird and like I don't know. This was supposed to be like a more serious thing, but that was like more comical than I think almost anything else in the, or as far as death scenes, anyways. Well, maybe not the superhero thing.
To piggyback off what you just said, though, like. It got even worse, though, when Alice looks in the fridge and they do that weird shit where the food, like, decays. That looked horrible.
That was bad early CGI.
The CGI? Or was it...
Like, that was really...
Like California Raisins stop motion.
It was...
I thought it was claymation.
It was bad whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah, it was not... Like, for all the good artistic things that they did do, that was... the ugliest thing that they did.
And I liked that they had the Christian mythology book, and it was just straight up the Bible, but it just says Christian mythology book instead. like it's trying to be serious, but yeah,
that was a good dig.
Yeah,
that was a really good dig.
Yeah, it was pretty ridiculous. That and then the I don't know if this was mentioned, but I think the most like. The weirdest thing of Amanda Kruger is that they thought she hung herself, but there was no body. And then they were like, but she's dead, but there's no body. Like, do they even know for certain that they left her in the insane asylum?
Listen, if Jennifer can somehow leap 10 feet across the room, headbutt the television, then
if
anything is
possible. If Kristen can do a cartwheel in her dreams.
My dream power is I can do a monkey flip. Also, like, come on, Mark, you couldn't have come up with a cooler, like, visually it was a cool style, but, like, did he... I don't know, like, it's kind of funny.
It was like
Freddy just
the music video.
Kidding me with this shit?
Yeah, I was like, wow, you're like a shitty RoboCop. I mean, you're not even like a good like Iron Man or something. You know, like that's your. I did kind of like Super Freddy too, though. That was enjoyable.
Faster than a local madman.
It's weird because it feels like it's direct. It's like you know. The demographic is younger kids than like teenagers for that, right? Like, because I was probably, you know,
right.
Like that. I thought that was the coolest thing in the world where they do like the comic book thing, and then you know he's like shooting Freddy Krueger. Like I thought that was awesome. But like I watch it now and I just kind of like you know reach back to that like nostalgia thing where I was like I would have thought this was super cool, but yeah, it was pretty lame, and especially like how he gets killed where he's just shredded to pieces. Like I feel like that was like a missed opportunity, but they were wanting to take the opportunity to show off that kind of animation in a live action film. I don't know.
Do you think had they had a more interesting central plot, we've had all of 3 deaths, so they clearly were focused on trying to actually tell a story as opposed to getting the number and dream count up like they did in 3 and 4. Could this have worked with a more interesting either character or central plot? Maybe?
I mean, yes, it could have.
I guess that's a good short answer.
I don't know what it would have been, though.
Like, one of the things you brought up in one of the earlier ones we were talking about is, like, the way they bring back Freddy in each one. Like, this is literally the same person who just blew Freddy up with making him look in a mirror, having to deal with Freddy, like, literally months later, coming back and murdering everybody she loves except for her dad, and trying to possess her baby. Like, I don't. How do you
find a mirror?
Yeah, like, hold on, I gotta shove this up my womb for a second. Like, how do you get to that point? You know, it's one of the problems with this series is that even though, like I was bringing up earlier when I was talking about the first one, is outside of having to be part of the series because it didn't have to respect canon, is like they didn't respect canon in this. They pick and chose certain things. This is like a series where, like, Rian Johnson did every fucking sequel, but he wanted to change it up for every fucking sequel.
That is a good analogy.
Well, this one is Fred Krueger's hand rocks the cradle, which is like a little bit ahead of its time. And then it turns into the labyrinth at the end.
Yeah. Okay, wait. How funny were the parents in the opening? It's time to get our pictures, parents and brats. Like,
oh, it's totally the opening shot to Less Than Zero. Like, I feel like they just took Less Than Zero, which opens with a graduation scene, and then it just goes into a Freddy Krueger nightmare, which is probably not as scary as at least the book of Less Than Zero.
Since you just brought up Labyrinth, how weird would it have been if David Bowie played Freddy Krueger?
Oh, wow.
I mean, I think it would have been pretty awesome. I mean, even if it was bad, it would
can you
be
even
like
picture
awesome.
it? I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy.
It would have just changed the whole trajectory of that franchise in a way that
Freddy Krueger would be a sex symbol.
He
Pack
would,
that baby, make it scream.
Oh, yeah, sure, why not? I mean, I'm still pushing for Kevin Bacon to be next Freddy, so I would have enjoyed.
I know he's interested.
Cool.
Yeah. All right, are we actually already done with part 5?
I really don't have anything left to add. It's not bad, not great. I mean, there were definitely worse examples, which we'll be coming up to. Soon. Very soon. But I think I remembered more of this one than part 4, which is probably why I enjoyed it better than part 4. You know, it was less changed in my imagination than part 4 was from how I remembered it to be.
Well, yeah, you only had to remember 3 death scenes and a baby.
Well, there was also the end of this, and this was the example of the little girls doing the jump rope at the very end, and they were obviously
with
not in a dream. Yeah. Where it's the happy ending, where it kind of seemed like that's what they wanted to do with the first one, is have a happy ending and then just have the girls do it. So they kind of did it with this one. So that's one where I'm like, is that a dream sequence, or it's just like whatever? It's just like another way to be like, maybe we're not done.
I've often wondered, like, maybe the kids are all like angels. So, you know, they're there, but, you know, humans can't see them. But yeah, I feel that some humans can see them. So I don't fucking know. I'm still confused.
Even the Dream Master?
The Dream Master.
So, going on by what happens in part 6, I take it we're all assuming that Alice leaves Springwood?
You know what? I'm going to say... Wait, I was going to say she died giving birth, but we see that she already had the baby. Yeah, she got the fuck out of Dodge. Her and Yvonne got together and are raising Jacob. I think that's the happiest way that story ends for me.
So, we have 2 people in the entire franchise who have a happy ending. Okay, that's good to know.
Can you really say that Joey had an unhappy ending?
Well, I mean...
He died doing what he loved.
He got a happy ending.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, I mean, do we know that for sure? I mean, it was a wet dream, right?
That's right.
It definitely was wet. Anyway, sorry, people. We'll be back in a minute for part 6. Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare.
Bon appetit, bitch.